Here we have a 1967 Magnavox Magnasonic model 1RP619 console stereo radio with three-way speakers, a turntable, and of course the AM/FM stereo radio. It belonged to my aunt, and she bought it brand new in 1967, and when she died in 2004, I ended up having it. It's got all of the original documentation. So we have the original tag that came on it on the floor. And then here's another tag which probably was looped around one of the handles or something at the time. And over here we have the original sales receipt of what model that it is. Purchased in March of 1967, and doesn't say what the price was. Whoever paid for it had 90 days to pay. It also comes with this interesting data card as well too, with the model number, mahogany finish, and the serial number. And the quality assurance information. And it's actually a punch card, as you can see. Back in those days, didn't have magnetic storage media, they had punch cards. And here we have one of the information sheets about care and feeding of the turntable that came with it. It also has a record changer. And last but not least, it's got the original instruction book that came with it as well. And it's not terribly detailed. It's a pretty simple unit, actually. Not one of the higher end units, but still a pretty good quality. So there's just a few pages of that. You can also hook up a remote speaker system on this machine, which I'll show you guys a little bit later. And of course the warranty, which I'm pretty sure is expired by now. And all of that information came in this little envelope, which I also still have. So I'll go ahead and put some of that stuff back and show you guys the actual unit. This stuff right over here is stuff that came off of the back that I don't want to throw away. It just needs to get re-glued, which I'll do that a little bit later as part of the restoration process. And on the top you've got these sliding doors. So over on that side, you've got your speaker selector control. You can choose both speakers or external or internal. And this side is just a storage area. And I've got not a very impressive record collection at all. Just got some records I had when I was a kid and just haven't gotten around to. Never really wanted to throw them away. There's nothing wrong with them actually. But I don't want to play them on this record player because the stylus is a bit too heavy. I want to use my higher quality dual record player for that. And on the other side, this opens up as well too to expose the main tuner and phonograph. And you've got a high fidelity stereo FM/AM tuner and amplifier with your basic treble control, loudness, and FM stereo, regular FM, and automatic frequency control FM, AM, and auxiliary, and your on-off switch and bass control, and your tuning control, and of course everything is solid state, but just barely, because in 1967 you could still get some tube equipment. I cleaned this thing up pretty well. Not sure how much you guys can tell, but I took it all apart a few years ago and restored it, cleaned the back side of the glass, and I actually armor-alled the plastic backing here where the light's mounted, so it's extremely clean and shiny. And the armor-all really did a great job on making this whole assembly here look like brand new. And over on this side we have the Micromatic record player with the automatic changer, which I'm not sure works. I think I tried it last time a few years ago and it didn't work, which is why I kind of have it just sitting in here. It'll actually come off if you lift it up, because I'm still trying to restore it and just haven't gotten around to it. You've got your adapter that you can use for playing 45s, conveniently stored there, and your on-off switch and speeds that you can select as well too. But this turntable, it's pretty nice, but it's just old. It needs to get, all the grease is dried up in it, so it needs to have a restoration done and all new grease put in there so it operates freely. And I got the back of it taken off. The back is actually your typical press board. Over there is where some of the information that I showed you previously fell off. It was actually on the floor the whole time. I didn't know it until I pulled it away from the wall, but I'm going to keep all that stuff because I just want to keep it all together. Got the back already pulled off to show you guys the back side, and I got a light back here I can turn on as well too. You can see some of the drivers. You've got a 12-inch woofer. So I'll try to get the part number. It's like it's not going to focus for me. There it is. And it's in excellent condition. And you've got two 5-inch mid-ranges, which are connected with a basic crossover network. It doesn't really have a tweeter. It's just got another mid-range that's got a crossover to handle the higher frequencies. Impedance is 3.2 ohms for each one of them. I can't really focus on that one. There it is. Almost 2 watts. 3.2 ohms. And of course you got the same on the other side. 12-inch woofer and then two 5-inch drivers, mid-range and tweeter. And here's your interface, your output for your, or actually input for your FM antenna if you wanted to run an external antenna, and your external speakers. And it's actually got a built-in dipole FM antenna which runs up the back around each side of the unit right there. So this thing gets really good reception actually. And this is the main part of the unit. We're looking at the power amplifier right now. It's got the original power transistors, the Bendix 68P1Ks, TO3 style case. And let's see, 68P1K. I've got that pulled up over here actually. It's let's see, 68P1's and 121. Just want to see how much power those things can handle. And 121's actually germanium. All the transistors in this unit are germanium, and looks like it'll handle maximum of 30 watts. So let's say this thing probably puts out around 12 or 15 watts per channel, judging by the size of the very small power transformer. And I'm going to try to get with this actual tuner looks like. I gotta get on my side here. You can see some of the output stage there. Circuit board is really clean. There's another power transistor. It's probably an onboard regulator. I really haven't had to recap this thing. The only capacitor I put in, which you can't see, is behind this power transformer, because I had a horrible hum. Typical 60 Hz power supply hum. And trying to get my flashlight to work here. There we go. I replaced all the dial lights in it. That's the stereo indicator light. And right there's the dial light and dial string. And it's got all the original potentiometers in there for your volume controls. That's a stack pole switch array for your AM, FM, AFC, and phono. And you got a nice big flywheel for your tuner. And then of course your front end. You can see a little bit of the tuning capacitor back there as well. And as well as your typical internal antenna for built-in purposes. So overall, a pretty nice unit. Here's some other information on the label there. Basic block diagram of how everything works and how to hook up the external speakers. So let's get this thing turned on and see how she sounds. So you can adjust the volume with the loudness control. Interesting, it doesn't actually say volume anywhere. They just call it loudness, which I guess it's the same thing. Not sure how good you guys can hear that. It'll play pretty loud. It's not 100 watts or anything. The tuner has a really nice feel to it. And what's interesting is that no matter what position this switch is in, the stereo light always stays on. Even just FM, AFC. But I wish you guys could feel how this tuner works. It's just got a very nice feel to it that you don't really see a lot these days. And I would like to play a record, but record player's not really in a good enough shape to do that just quite yet. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys a quick tour of this thing. It's kind of a neat stereo system. Back in the days when they used to make TVs and stereos part of the furniture. And you can also see the speaker grills are in excellent condition as well too on both sides. You can see on the other side as well there too. Unfortunately, these materials here, this is actually plastic, it's not wood, so the only wood you have is actually on the front. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and feel free to leave a comment if you guys have a Magnavox stereo as well too. I'd love to see it. I know some of the higher end models actually have a separate tuner and amp down there, like a lot of them would have a amplifier mounted right down there for the higher power models, which is one of the ones I would really love to have, but this one's good enough though. I've got another stereo that I would use to play things a little bit louder. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy.